very interesting. Very interesting. Australia now, number 1 in the world in tests, number 1 in the world in ODIs. And Australia last night, Pez, over there in Chennai, they snapped India's 4-year winning streak of winning bilateral series or whatever. And we're going to get into it. How come India don't win shit ever? Except for a World Cup 10 years ago.
Except for 26 straight at home across tests, ODIs,
yeah,
and T20.
But when it matters, when it really matters, they don't win shit. All right, welcome back to TGC and the antagonistic show that is about to ensue. TGC has been powered by CRED throughout the entire tour, Australia's tour, and also TGC's tour. We've been using the Scan and Pay app, the Scan and Pay feature on the app, on the CRED app, and CRED's been a great partner to work with throughout this series. Next week, the IPL starts Sunday week, and TGC will of course be covering all that. So there's plenty more to come.
Deluxe.
Oh, it's deluxe. It's TGC IPL Deluxe.
If you're an IPL team and you want us to dress the set,
yeah.
Look at this shit. I'm specifically avoiding a particular sponsor here for their sake. I'm not saying we're Sunrisers. I'm just saying this is the sort of shit you can get.
Well,
I can't wait for IPL, mate. I mean, because we can, like, just for the viewers, many of which have switched off. I mean, we're talking to Australians right now anyway.
Right.
But like,
no one's watching this.
But the IPL is going to be covered immensely by TGC.
Yeah.
And this is how we talk to each other because I'm just looking at you. And people should be happy because we don't have a particular dog in the fight, unless you want to send us some merch, but or some players to interview,
or a dog.
Or a dog to
I'm in the market.
like cockfights, but with dogs. Highly unethical. Now, we don't have a dog in the fight, so we can antagonise anyone you want.
That's right.
Right? We're just available to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So, but we can't wait. That's going to be massive.
Mate, what an achievement from this Australian team. I know ODIs are weird, and at the very beginning of the series, I was very confused whether Australia's good or not. They just beat India by 10 wickets at home than they've done in this game, and it's a great achievement. Good for them.
Good for Australia.
Good for them. And Agar's played well.
Yep.
Zampa's done well. Mitch Marsh has done well.
The boys have done well.
The boys have done well.
Papi's ripped in last night as well.
Get around the boys.
Yeah, help rebuild Papi and also a wicket at the end and a runner. They're all contributing. Zorba and Agar having a little whiskey each night.
Yeah.
Ashton's talking about that. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I think I just want to celebrate the team for a second. I mean, just
positive.
I know. Well, like, mate, even after the test series, like the amount of fucking bullshit that these guys hear all the time from fucking idiots, some of which were very good players. And other people just want to write articles being like, that guy should be captain. That was a fucking good catch. He should be captain. Fucking moronic shit. And I just want to celebrate the team because I feel like there's not enough people fucking getting around them. And you know, some people listen or watch this show sometimes. So it's somewhat our responsibility as having some sort of voice, just preferencing everything with some sort.
That's right. A little bit of wiggle room.
That I just want to fucking get around the boys. Yeah. Number 1 in the world, number in tests and ODI. That's fucking impressive. Snapping a 4-year winning streak for this Indian side. That is fucking something to celebrate. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Yep.
India is shit.
Yep. Yeah, I thought you were going to go down that path. And you know, I knew that India was in trouble this game. Australia was 60 for none. Now you'd think, okay, Australia's doing well. 60 for none in the India and England way of saying it, or everyone else except us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
After 9 overs or some shit, and Rohit. So Marsh and Head are fucking thrashing
the bin boys
as they do. The bin boys.
The bin boys up top.
And Rohit after 9 overs brings the entire team in for a whole team chat.
Yep.
After 9 overs. That's fucking village.
Well, it's good that it was not after 9 overs because that's fucking under 9s. That's under 9 stuff when someone's dad who's umpiring at square legs goes, come on guys, let's take this seriously. Stop picking your nose and eating it.
Mate, well, yeah.
Hungry.
That happened to me in 2nd grade once. And it was fucking so embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
And that's 2s out of Fairfield.
Yeah.
That's not fucking Chennai playing for India. And Rohit was animated. I'm like, mate, these guys are under the pump. Whole team. Like, there's only one thing you can say after 9 overs to the whole team when they're 60 for none, and that's lift and work hard. Very abstract concept.
When he brought everyone together, I thought we were about to see the first live TikTok dance. That's what I
Well,
thought.
they're very good at that.
Oh, mate, I've got to tell you, I don't want to get into some fucking
Yes, you do.
Graham Souness attacking Pogba shit, but like, I got to say, like, if I'm watching a lot of that, you want to be winning a lot of cricket games in a lot of big tournaments before I see that kind of shit on the internet. That's just me. That's just me. They're allowed to do whatever they want.
So with this last review of this entire 7-week odyssey that we've been on, like, do you want to talk general issues and things we've picked up from the game, or would you like to talk about what happens in the game?
I want to talk about Warner batting in a yellow floppy.
Thank you. That was the first thing I want to talk about. Okay, can I preface before you talk about the aesthetic?
Preface it.
Okay,
Preface it.
Warner's batting 4 in this game. Now that is, for an Australian, that's extremely unsafe.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you are of the vintage which we are, which is sort of 05, 06 Warner coming through the ranks, not necessarily opening bat, so you have some memory of some middle order shit, even as a leg spinner, David Warner.
Yes.
Most people don't have that.
Yeah.
Warner's an opener. Warner coming in at 4 in an ODI, that is...
Only the second time of his 142 games or some shit that he's not opened the batting.
Yeah, you watched the game. Now, I felt very off. I felt very unsafe with Warner in at 4.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them going, like, not breaking up the bin boys. I don't care how many you've played.
Oh, yeah. Don't break up the bin boys.
Yeah, I want to watch the bin boys.
Yeah.
But I felt off like a you know, the princess sleeping on 7 mattresses or some shit. There's a little pea at the bottom. She's like, I can feel that. I just felt off, you know what I mean? No, I think that's a fable somewhere. I just haven't researched it. Okay, so that's in batting 4. Now let's go on with the aesthetic of it.
I just like watching cricket in Asia where it's too hot to be restricted with heavy burdens, i.e. protective equipment.
Yes.
I like guys batting in caps. I can even get used to these days guys batting with nothing on the lid. That took a little while for me to get used to. But
I'd like to see a bald guy do it, but both like out of respect for the cue ball brethren. But also the aesthetic.
Sure. So, I mean, I'm confused by it, but anyway, I thought it was okay. Australia's innings generally, because, I mean, I wanted some more boundary, I wanted some more thrashing, more boundaries, more cut shots, more down the ground, more lofted drives, if you will.
Big boundary hitters. I mean, I think Mitch Marsh hit more sixes than the entire Indian side for the series. I'd like to pick up on the floppy, though.
Sure, yeah, go on.
I agree with you, and this stuff harks back to Mark Waugh batting in a floppy in India in 1996, scoring 100 against Kenya.
Dean Jones before him.
Yeah, against the Tokolo brothers.
That's a good shout. They were a good side that year.
They were. I think they did make it out of the group or whatever.
They beat the West Indies, didn't they?
Yeah. Anyway, but I do think that Australia's underserved by that floppy because the brim is too stiff. It's a stiff brim. I prefer Jadeja's, and you won't catch me saying that very often.
It's got to be seasoned.
I want it soft. I want it wavy.
Yes.
And I want it to be harking to a more 70s and the 80s. I mean, the Greg Chappell essentially, you know, he branded the floppies, and I think there's an investigation that needs to be done into that.
Right.
But when he wore a floppy, it was soft and it was wavy, like Jadeja's. Who's a slightly off colour as well.
Yep.
But I don't like Australia's stiff brim.
Yeah.
I like Jadeja's soft and floppy.
You know that
far better aesthetic.
I won't be happy until someone bats with in a Kubra. And a pair of spiked up Aaron
That's
Williams.
interesting. I mean, that changes things as well. Actually, because that's a stiff brim. I got one in Darwin a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Your life changes.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Pretending you're from the country when you're fucking nothing but.
What, you're sipping a latte?
Yeah, that's right.
You can't drink a latte. You must sip a latte.
Williams and shorts.
Anyway, in this inning, so Australia, like everyone got starts, and a few guys got caught down the ground, including in India's innings. Kohli was caught down the ground as well. Guys trying to like loft the ball in the air down the ground from the spinners, and it was obviously
ragged a bit.
Oh, yeah, it did rag a bit. Also the ball that Kuldeep bowled to Carey. That's delicious.
I was happy to see Kuldeep do well. Like they obviously, they needed a as a decider, so they went, okay, let's put a bit of rag in it in the deck. That's the prerogative. We've learnt that.
Yep.
And I was happy to see Kuldeep just get a good show in the game.
Yeah.
I think India this entire 7-week odyssey have lacked some hammers and shit bowlers.
Right.
Really, there's still too much symmetry. Like I understand Ashwin's action now, and Jadeja is complete symmetry. So they've lacked a spinner with a little bit of hammers and shit about them.
Sure.
Old listeners to the show will know what that reference is. Right. They've also lacked sound behind the stumps. They're two really key components of playing against India.
Definitely.
Guys bowling some mystery and some unnecessary hyena-like sound behind the stumps. That's an area that they can work on.
Definitely.
And it went to show. Kuldeep took 4 for, and Australia couldn't really play him. And I thought it's ragging too much here. And where's Kuhnemann?
Mitchell Marsh finishes player of the series, 194 runs at something like, hits him about 130, and he averages whatever he averages. Who cares?
97.
But he has a wonderful series, and there's something to look at there with him opening the batting. I mean, Australia win the series without Maxwell for 2 games, without Warner for 2 games. Pat Cummins isn't there, of course. It's I know obviously India's missing Punt and Bumrah guys are missing as well, but I'm just saying, like, for Australia, Shreyas Iyer, good point. I mean, there's guys missing, and it's a wonderful achievement. Anyway, nothing really spectacular happened in Australia's innings. They were 7 for 205, something like that, and they get themselves to 270. Is that right?
Yeah.
Some good hill hitting from Abbott and Agar and Stark at the end, and they got themselves into a good score.
10,
11 red.
Yeah,
11
exactly.
red. Yeah. And then we go into India's innings, right? And I just want to get into the India's innings because some of the fucking stroke play from Shub McGill at the top is so fucking delicious. Yeah. It's so good. And this is the thing. This is the thing that I said at the first ODI pairs, where it's like, when they win a game, I'm like, these guys will never lose a game. They've got too many good players. And I look at Shubman up the top, just creaming. Like, there was one early on, lofted over sort of straightish mid-wicket, wide, long on, and then just like this big, absolutely statuesque cover drive. Tendulkar-esque is a great shout. And it's like the stroke play is amazing. They're none for 60. They find themselves 2 for 146. There's so many good players coming in, and they don't win. And they don't win the game. And I just feel like I see this all the time. Not in bilateral series, because they win basically every bilateral series, especially at home. But in Indian terms, ICC tournaments, a term that I've never heard before until starting to engage with the Indian audience. But in ICC tournaments, they fucking barely make a final. And why is that? They've got so many good players. They get themselves in a great position, and they don't win shit. They never fucking win. Why is that? TikTok.
Yeah. Before I answer that, also just great to see Axar get a wicket as well, like a really good partnership breaking bowler these days.
I'm so confused
by
his tour.
I know.
I mean, his series, not his tour.
He finished a 7-week odyssey batting 5 and breaking a partnership. What? I thought he was going to kill us with the ball.
Chop outs. Yeah. I'm so confused.
Look, it's a good conversation to have, and it's and people will willfully misinterpret this frustration, because we've been covering India since the Gabba, and the Gabba was a watermark moment in Indian cricket where it was like, this country and this team is now ready economically, on field, off field, to fucking break away, destroy, monopolise off, monopolise on field.
See you later.
And it actually hasn't happened. And I wonder, and they've had captaincy changes since then. They've had coaching changes since then. I just wonder if that win at the Gabba has been a poison chalice, in the sense that that was when India rose up and they won the attention of Australians, which is all that matters.
That's right. Of course. That's right. Yeah.
Because the time zones were normally asleep.
We started paying attention.
That's right. And
India play cricket. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. Blue. That's interesting.
I wonder if it's a poison chalice, in the sense that, not poison chalice. What I'm trying to say, like, that was the moment that elevated them to the superpower in the eyes of the rest of the world. People knew it was coming, and then they did that thing. And there has been a certain anxiety and impatience and snatching at India confirming that dominance that hasn't really arrived, you know. And you can feel the anxiety from people in India about the fact that they haven't actually confirmed that elevation yet, you know? And I wonder if it compounds on itself. It's like, weren't we meant to have arrived as a nation? And yet it still hasn't quite happened. And then when you factor in on top of that the home commentary is largely a propaganda effort, where your match highlights after losing 2-1 include Virat Kohli stopping one in the ring.
That's right.
People don't, by and large, call out the factors that are holding them back. It actually compounds on itself again, you know? And so people get frustrated. It's like, well, because for us, like, we're frustrated too, because they have all these fucking wonderful players. They shouldn't lose.
And waiting in the wings as well.
And I just wonder if the weight of that expectation is actually holding them back too. Possibly. You know?
Possibly. I guess, I guess we'll find out. I mean, India are still favourites to win their home World Cup, and probably rightfully so, though it's really hard to know what ODI form means, because guys don't start taking it seriously until about 3 weeks before the tournament starts. But,
and this, like, we won't remember this tournament. I mean, really, like, we talk about this being a primer for the World Cup. Australia plays India for 3 ODIs before the World Cup in India. Right. So the actual warm up.
Yeah, okay.
Is before the World Cup. This is like the BGT finished and the IPL's on. There's a couple of days that's fucking cash in. 6 points in a song for the administration.
You know, since the Gabba, they've lost all these games. It's somewhere between 4 and 5 matches every year since then by 10 wickets in either T20 or ODI cricket. It's so bizarre. And they're losing 10 wickets at home as well, losing this series. It must be incredibly frustrating and confusing as an Indian fan as well.
Especially if you win 26 at home straight. And you're like, so we win 20. Nobody can beat us when I'm watching cricket at a time that suits me.
Yes.
And yet when everyone gets together for a tournament that matters.
And they piece it all together.
Can't get it done.
Barely make a final.
Yeah.
New Zealand beat us. What?
I do think it plays back into some like wicket stuff as well, like But anyway,
speaking of just the Indian makeup, I mean Australia were absolutely sensational in the field here. Zampa takes 4 for Ash and Agar takes 2 huge wickets, really turns the game at that point because it was 2 for 146 or 146 for 2 when Abbott takes a catch, excellent catch along on off KL Rahul off Zampa, and then Agar gets Kohli, and then next ball he gets Suryakumar Yadav for 3 first ballers in a row. Now I don't recall thinking in any of those previous 2 before this one thinking like that's a dreadful shot. This one I was like that is a dreadful shot. Like I don't know where he was trying to hit the ball, and I think he's such an amazing player. Maybe even like such good players can find themselves in a rut where it's just like I just wouldn't mind having a look at a second ball, but it's just bizarre when like you get a guy that good in T20 cricket. He hasn't quite done an ODI cricket just yet, but you just figure like he's going to be so good, he'll figure it out. But he's running out of chances, I would think, to figure it out. Anyway, I guess Agar and we should celebrate Australia more, but Agar changes the game.
I like how...
And Kohli absolutely fucking burns Axar deluxe.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Sky, Sky's the best T20 batter in the world. Now people forget that. But like after that dismissal, you see him. So 3rd golden duck in a row.
Amazing.
Obviously, he's walking out to bat, going. Everyone who plays cricket understands if you get 2 golden ducks in a row, like the only thing in your head that's happening is you're getting out again. Like that. That's literally right. Doesn't matter how you could be the best T20 batter in the world. When he walks out, he's like, "Well, I'm getting out."
Yeah,
that's what happens now.
He's actually started to walk to the crease the way he walks off with his helmet, just like pointing.
Exactly.
It's like, let's get it off already. Save time.
That's what cricket does here. That's why it's a beautiful bust of a game.
Right.
And he gets out, and you see him after the dismissal. He's staring into the ground, holding his bat for what seems like 10 seconds. And people will be like, I wonder what he's thinking. I want the ground to swallow me up, like existential fear. Or it could have just been like, meow, 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 meow.
He's thinking about the duck dipping into a glass of water. A square trying to go into a circle.
Kohli barbecuing Axar Patel.
That was village.
So firstly, brilliant run out, Steve Smith. Brilliant stop, and then the awareness to flick it to Carey, rather than the stumps. But like don't get me wrong, like Axar, he ran 22 yards. Axar,
he almost got back for 2.
Well, he did 3 quarters one way, then a quarter back the other. He actually he made it.
There was a run there every day. Kohli's watching the ball.
Yep. But does Kohli make it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, and next thing on the highlights, which I watched after I watched all the game, was him bringing up a 50. So
and Hardik Pandya just walking one.
Yeah,
he would have gone back for 2 there. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, runs hard for his own ones. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Interesting allegation. Anyway, then I suppose it just then Zampa comes in, picks up 3 quick wickets at the end there, and it's India for 20-something short in the end. And Australia have a famous victory, I suppose. Well, I'm not sure the last time, or if Australia's ever won an ODI series out, because they have done some stuff there in the past. They play heaps of cricket against each other. Who knows? Someone's going to let me know in the comments. And also clip up.
They won in 2019 when Ashton Turner scored all those runs with Khawaja.
Yeah,
I think they also broke a streak, an Indian streak to win that.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
They don't mind banging India in a bit of coloured clothing.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Okay. Well,
they don't mind it.
Well, that's something. Well, the IPL starts in a couple of days and we'll forget about all of this happening. And TGC will, of course, be right there. Should we get into hashtag AskTGC? Let's just talk about something else.
It's just a Sky one from Bala Subramaniam. Sorry, Bala. With Suryakumar Yadav's dismissal in the last 3 ODIs, is it time for him to apply for Legends League cricket? Hey, that's a good comp.
Well, we have discussed.
The Indians finished last in that one too, I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
Tough times.
Yeah.
Tough times for Indian fandom. Of course, they just won a Test series, but Test cricket's dead. So, and Australia were basically 1-0 for the last 2 Test matches. So, take your wins where you can get them. We've discussed in the past, like, what age you have to be to join the Legends League. Is it a over 35s comp? Like, what is it? Do you have to give up a license or some degree? Do you have to hand over a passport? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you see, like, the world,
Sky's
the world
30,
team,
32?
early
31?
30s,
31?
older than you think.
Yeah.
Do that again. I'm harmonising.
Okay.
It is strange seeing like Brett Lee open the bowling and then like Aaron Finch, who just months ago captaining the national side,
Right.
also there.
Yeah.
But the beers must be great.
Oh, must be unbelievable. I saw a photo with Watto, Shane Lee's brother, Brett Lee, Paul Collingwood, just hopped out of bed there, and Monty. Yeah, he finished up, and Monty. And it's like that's a big foursome. That is. That's a big four.
I saw Brett Lee playing guitar and Harbhajan Singh. Like bopping around.
Now we're talking.
What's that song?
I'm not sure what that song is. I know the song you're talking about, yeah.
It's the stereotypical Indian song for Westerners.
Right, yeah.
Anyway.
I thought that was a national anthem until 2 weeks ago.
That'd be a sick national anthem.
That would be. I'd fucking get up for that. Blokes with a hat off, like hand over heart.
Sean Paul involved in that one? Oh, that's someone else. Talking about Chanda Paul as well?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Hey, look, I think you're about to wrap up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to say anything. It's the last video of this Odyssey.
The Australian Tour of India 2023.
It's been huge for TGC, really.
We've had a good time.
Yeah. I mean, we built up to it for several years from the Gabba.
Yeah.
Got to go to India. More people have watched these videos than any others that we've done, I think. Sort of until India stopped winning. But
it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. But we got to do live shows in front of, into the thousands of people. 8 shows, 6 cities. Australia came back, gave India a run, 3 wins each. And a draw, we'll call that even.
Yeah, sure,
we'll call that even.
Honours even.
Yeah, honours even. And we move. That was a special time for TGC. I think
that
it was
was
a milestone thing, and due to the audience getting around us, and there'll be far less antagonism for the IPL because there's no dog in the fight.
Probably.
I mean, unless we find something to get angry about. Shane Warne always said that, if you're struggling when you're bowling, like Alan Border taught him, like you just got to pick a fight with someone. That is Australian cricket.
I don't know how we ended up where we ended up. Hard to say. Well, what a great tour it's been for everyone involved. Thanks to everyone for watching this here video and all of the videos we put out the entire series. And thanks for those for getting around us on Patreon. We'll be back in a few days' time, I suppose, for the beginning of the IPL. See you coats on the internet next time. Cheers.